All right, class. Welcome to part 2 of the 3.1b lesson. And now we're going to practice converting equations that may not be written in any particular form into standard form. So I'm going to go ahead and review this. The last page had a very, very important section that discussed the rules of standard form. I want you to write this down somewhere. I'm going to write this on a Post-it, but I want you to write this maybe on the back of a page or something, but rules of standard form. You have to make sure that you follow these rules, okay? Obviously, first of all, the way that the official form is written is ax plus by is equal to c. Notice how the x is always before the y because alphabetically x is before y, right? So first, let's go ahead and write that a, b, and c must be integers. Okay, you can't have fractions in standard form. A, b, and c must be integers. Okay, another one is a and b are not both 0, right? You can't have both of them being 0. If you had both of them being 0, then you would have kind of like no variable almost, right? And the last thing, this is something that we definitely cannot forget. This is basically saying A just has to be positive. The reason why is because it is the standard to keep your A value positive. Okay? So in the event that your A value is negative and let's say your B value is positive and your C value is positive, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to multiply the entire equation by -1 to convert your A value to a positive. That's literally the standard. Okay, we need to keep our A value positive, and that's because A is the coefficient of X. We always want the X value to be positive. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the side. You might want to put a Post-it note in. This is where Post-it notes are kind of handy, but I'm going to take this off now, and let's just practice converting these equations into standard form. So if you look at number 4, you'll see that the x and the y values are not on the same side, right? You want to keep the x and the y values on the same side. You also want to keep your variable positive for x. So although some people might say to subtract 4/3 from both sides, 4/3 x, I actually think that the smart move would be to subtract 2y from both sides, right? That keeps my variable of x, the coefficient of it, positive. So I end up getting 4/3 x minus 2y is now equal to 0. Okay, remember that your constant can be 0. Obviously, 0 is an integer. So now I have both variables on the same side. My a value is positive. My a and b values are not 0. The only thing that I have to fix is the fact that the coefficient of x is a fraction. So here comes the module 1 techniques, right? Clearing the denominator is something that we have to be comfortable with. We multiply the entire equation by 3. Our final answer is going to be 4x minus 6y is equal to 0. And that now looks like it's in standard form. Okay? Let's skip to number 7. Something like number 7. Okay, put this on the side. Okay, so here I'm noticing there's a constant 0.8. There's a 2.4y on the left side, and then there's a 3x on the right side. Ooh. So I think the first thing I want to do, and again, your strategies can be different in terms of pace, in terms of what move you do first, but I kind of want to just multiply the entire thing by 10 first. to get rid of the decimals. So I end up getting 24y is equal to 8 plus 30x. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just subtract 30x, and I'm actually going to put it in the front of the 24y. So I end up with negative 30x plus 24y is equal to 8. Now, it's important to realize that now our coefficient of x, our a value, is not positive. So I'm going to multiply by negative 1. Okay. I end up getting 30x minus 24y is equal to negative 8. And that's my final answer. Okay, so now, even though this is the final answer, class, does anyone notice that I could have actually factored out a 2 from every term? If you understand what I mean by factoring out a 2, what I will say and what I will address in this video is please do not take out a common factor from any of the 3 terms. If you do that, you will actually ruin the fact that it is already in standard form. Okay, we can explain that later in class, but just go ahead and leave it like this, even though you may see that there's a common factor between all 3 of the terms. Okay, I think the rest of the video or the rest of the lesson is pretty straightforward. We obviously can talk about this more in class, but go ahead and continue practicing on your own. Let me know if you have any questions. All right. Thanks for watching.